Hey everybody, I want to talk about a product and platform that I absolutely love and our latest sponsor, Interseller, the prospecting and outreach platform of choice for recruiters and sellers. Whether you're doubling down on business development or recruiting talent, Interseller does all the heavy lifting of finding contact data, automating the email and follow-up process, and syncs all that rich data into 20 plus CRM and ATS platforms. Reach out now and get going on a 2-week free trial and let them know you heard about it from Adam on the podcast today. Check out the link on the website. Appreciate it.
Welcome to the podcast, where we introduce you to incredible humans who share their journeys with the mission to inspire you to harness your own inner tenacity to drive your life and career forward. And now, your host, Adam Posner.
Sound good?
Here we go. 4, 3, 2, 1. I can handle TMZ.
Oh, this is going to be a good one. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the podcast, where I bring you the best and the brightest from the world of business, marketing, and foot care to help you harness your own inner tenacity and drive your career forward. I'm excited to welcome my guest today, Gloria Williams, founder and CEO of Foot Nanny, a line of premium lotions, soaks, and oils focused strictly on the feet, which she believes should be part of everyone's daily self-care regimen. The Chicago native has what celebrities like Oprah Winfrey call her a magic touch. And while working as a freelancer at the Oprah Winfrey Show, she noticed the star wasn't getting the best possible pedicure opportunity. And given the chance to do Oprah's feet once, she vowed to take her service to the next level. And as they say, the rest is history. And Williams became Winfrey's personal pedicurist. Wow, that's crazy. And I'm excited to learn all about Oprah's feet and unpack Gloria's journey. Gloria Williams, welcome to the podcast.
Hi, thanks for having me. Isn't that what they say on CNN? Thank you for having me, Adam.
It's so funny. I think we literally had the best pre-interview conversation, but we'll leave that between the two of us here. So before we get to the good stuff, before we get to the details and nitty-gritty of Oprah's feet here, let's bring it all the way back here. And correct me if I'm wrong, it started with your grandmother. Tell us what you learned from your grandmother at a young age and what she meant to, your community growing up.
Well, my grandmother passed the old-fashioned rub down to my mother. My mother and my grandmother roots are in Alabama. So my family moved north from the South, which a lot of African-American families did. And then I was born there in Illinois.
Ba-ba-da-ba.
So grew up in a small town, saw my mother, by her being from the South, she was a healer in the neighborhood. And that's how it was back then. No matter where you were from, I'm older. I'm like 57-ish. So I know people say I don't look it, but I feel it sometimes. But back then, every neighborhood really meant that neighborhood. Somebody in the neighborhood knew something. You borrowed from your neighbor, sugar, cream. Well, my mother went through healing everyone. And she believed that if you rub down someone's feet first, and then you work your way up to the knees and the arms, the whole body will feel better. And that was true.
So it starts with the feet.
Yes. And so I would tag along with her, and she would teach me how to do the moves. And I'm like, I don't know why I'm doing this, but I'm just going to do it. And so if you keep doing things over and over, that subliminally is in the back of your mind. And now I'm the foot nanny.
We'll unpack that in a little bit, but and correct me if I'm wrong reading into this, right? Your mom was a healer, your grandmother was a healer, was passed down. They were the nucleus of the community. Aside from the religious leaders,
yes,
I'm sure they've heard their fair share of gossip and good stuff and what was going on.
Oh yeah, down in Alabama, it's not just, it was a neighborhood. It's called Hunter Station, small town area where everybody was related. So your cousins were over here, over there, over there, over there. Everybody's related. But then when you move up north, and my mom, she used to see a lot of things. She used to see a lot of things, my mother. She was actually, we had a peephole in the door. You know how traditionally you have a little peephole.
Right.
Back in the day, we used to have a triangle.
And you would look out the whole thing.
Cut. Right. You could see out, but they couldn't see in. So my mother used to see everything.
She would just be...
What they doing over there? That was the Instagram of back in the day in the 60s and 70s.
I think life was better before camera phones. You were able to
Yes.
do whatever you want there. So, you grew up being influenced by, your mother and your grandmother.
Mhm.
How'd you take that to going to being a professional nail technician?
Well, let's put it like this. One day, someone submitted my name to um a school, a beauty school, and I was actually, in high school at that time, but finishing high school. But in high school, I learned administrative assistant work, which they call secretaries back then. We learned all that stuff. So I say all that to say, if I didn't have that, I wouldn't have been the foot nanny right now, because all those skills that I
Right.
had came back. Even though you have a job you hate, like, oh, why am I here? Those skills come to help you in the future.
There's foundational elements to it.
Yeah, we have to embrace all of that. And
Hmm.
so then I went to school one day, and I tried the little nail school. It was only 9 weeks. And okay, nobody wanted to do feet. But by me seeing my mom and dad interact with foot care, my mother would soak my father's feet in Epsom salt when he would come home from work. My mother was a homemaker. We had a candy store. That's another thing I'll tell you about. But subliminally, I saw that. So when I went to nail school, they were like, "Oh, this lady comes in with wants a pedicure, and nobody wants to do feet." And I said,
What?
"I'll do it."
Why did feet get a bad rap?
I guess it was like, even now you have a lot of nail techs that don't do feet. They just won't do it.
Hmm.
It's
That's called
something I feel like
opportunity.
you have to have a passion for it also, and feel comfortable with it, and know that you're going to cleanse their feet before you touch them. But this particular lady, she didn't have any toenails, because back in the day, if you had a toenail problem, they would remove all your toenails. So if you had a fungus, a really bad fungus,
Just take care of it.
take it all off. And so I
Yeah.
felt comfortable with her. I didn't care. I mean, I was looking at the foot. I scrubbed them down, soaked in salt and Epsom salt like my mama did my daddy, and my daddy did her. My father would soak my mother's feet when he was in the doghouse.
That's a good man right there. And
Yeah,
my wife, because she
yeah,
usually listens to most of my episodes, I don't want you to get any ideas here.
yeah.
Next time I'm in the doghouse, I'm not very good. I'm not good at massaging, and my wife kind of thinks that when we first started dating. Side note here, a little quick story, Gloria. I'm
Okay.
just not good at massaging. I just don't. You know what I mean? Like I don't enjoy it. So she thinks it's a scam just because so I didn't have to do it. So for
Okay.
14 years, she thinks I'm trying to get away with it.
Okay. No, it's nice. You're trying, but observe her more. You've been married for a while. So kind of observe her. See if she really likes those deep bubble baths and stress relief moments. Just observe. So that's why I learned it from my mom and my dad. And
I
that
love
was it. And so I just kept doing nails and kept doing nails. And then I was still working downtown as administrative assistant. And then after doing that for like 3 years, a combination with nails, I was like, I gotta stop, because I made more in one day of doing nails than I would make in a week of sitting there with the
right.
presidents and all them.
So go hit the rewind button for a second and tell us a little bit about the candy store. Was it a family? Was it passed down in the family?
Yeah, well, it's something my mother needed to do. So my father would, back then, if a woman worked, it was like, oh, I can't take care of my family. What would the neighbors say? So she had a candy store. And so what I would do was I would go and I would take orders at school, grammar school, when I was in grammar school. Take orders like, oh, you want Laters, Chico Stick, whatever, all those candies, good candy, wine candies, Jolly Ranchers, all that. Pick
Mm-hmm.
those. I would take the orders, and then I'll go home, fill the order, and then take it back to school and get the money. So I learned in my younger age, like 12, 13, 14, how to really move that money as far as here.
You're learning business.
Right. And so I tell everybody now, if it's something that you did, some people bury their past because a lot of it is painful, but you got to find something in there that you can work. Because go ahead.
It's called your shit pit. The
Oh.
gold is in the shit pit, Gloria.
Okay, little Howard Stern. Okay. All right.
The gold is in the shit pit. So let's fast forward.
Shit pit. Are you saying shit pit?
The shit pit.
Oh, okay.
Shit pit. The gold is in your shit pit. The gold is in the struggle. The gold
Okay,
is when you're at your bottom.
Okay.
That's when you're pulling yourself up out of it. So fast forward. How did you land working on the Oprah show, Oprah production team? How'd you get involved with that?
Well, one day I was working downtown in the Gold Coast for Mario Tricoci. I was a manager of 36 nail techs. That was like the spots in the
Chicago.
900 North Michigan, baby. Okay. And so I overheard someone say that they had a spot at Harpo. And I was like, what? It was Oprah show then.
Yep.
I said, they got a spot. Wait a minute. Hold on. I went and I applied, but it took 2 years to get in. And I did 1 day a week for 3 years after I got in. And finally, I said 1 day a week for 3 years before she came into the spot. And I saw her go by me like Jesus had walked by.
So whose feet were you doing?
I was just servicing at the spa at Harpo. We service all employees.
Oh, and okay, so it's in the production studio. So
yes,
wait, let's go back to something you just mentioned. The first time that Oprah physically graces your presence,
she walked past me.
Did she levitate?
No, she just kind of floated.
She floated. Okay, got it. And did she like glance over and give you a look?
No, she was focused on going to the pedicure throne, and she knew the nail tech. I didn't know her, so I'm sitting there doing her publicist nails, and I'm like, oh my God, she's coming in the spot. And so that was it. And so I'm looking out of my right eye, going, no bubbles, no towel roll. You know, when you get a pedicure, it's not what a lot of people might experience today. And I think that's why I just opened these multiple foot nanny spas. The first one I have on Wilshire in Beverly Hills. And then I have Rodeo Drive. I have Hollywood.
I wish I interviewed you before I came to LA recently. I love a great pedicure. I get like 2 a year. I get one at the beginning.
Yeah.
So
it's an experience with foot nanny.
When was the first time, Gloria, that you interacted with Oprah? When's the first time that you spoke
3
with
years.
her?
And like after those 3 years, that first time I saw her, maybe like 3 months later, because I was servicing her glam squad. So I asked him, hey, give me a chance, give me an opportunity.
Put me in, coach.
One time, just let me get one time.
Give me the shot.
You know what was out there in that song by Eminem? You got one shot.
One.
And when it begins, that was my pop.
It pumps you up, right?
Yeah. I was big on and I'm big on metaphysics as well. I'm a Baptist. Yes, I'm Baptist, a Christian, but I'm big on metaphysics, the power of the mind, and spoken word.
So you manifested it. You put it out into the universe that Oprah's feet are going to be in front of you one day.
She needs me. But Mario Tricoci trained me. Working for Mario's trained me because I had done all celebrities, sports athletes, New York Yankees, White Sox. We had a whole big department. So I handled all that. So when I saw her, it was like, okay, just give me my shot. Just let me help her. Help us, sister out.
So tell us that first time.
She called down and said she wanted service, and I overheard the manager saying something over the phone. And she said, no, she wants Gloria. She's specific because back then it was very serious when you was not able to do something or something. He was like, no, I'm doing her. No. It was like a fight. So I said, oh, so she came in, and I had everything ready. Presentation, 2 of every tool. So if something fell, I didn't have to pick it up. Just
prepared. You need to be prepared. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the water presentation is great. I don't like someone putting their feet in the water and then they fill it up. I like the whole mood to be ready, warm water, and then you submerge your feet in the water.
I agree with you. I don't like just leaving my feet in and then the water's pouring over. I don't like that.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So she comes in, she sits down in the chair.
Yes, and I served it, and I just serviced her. She read her, she was reading a book or looking on her phone, one of the two. But I think it was more reading a book because she would unwind, and that was it. And so after I finished, at first she tried to guide me a little bit, just a little guiding, with the foot, like.
Everyone has their preferences.
Yeah, and I said, I got this. I got you. It's okay. Woosah. So I didn't. So then I just went on and did it. And I was a nervous wreck, but in a way, but I was still a pro. And I did what I had to do. And I got to the point. And my specialty is when I finish your feet, it's like a baby's butt. So if you had any kind of callus or any kind of dryness of your feet, when you get up out my chair.
Oh, you
You might have to hold the rail in the shower.
Might just
Woo!
slip around a little bit.
Yes.
So what did she say to you at the end of the first treatment?
What was that? That was amazing. And so I do find out my client's preference of essential oils. She loved at that point, that time back then, it was lavender that she wanted, a little light lavender in her water. It was amazing.
That's
the
amazing.
Scrubs, I just do it all.
What could your business do with dozens of additional closed sales every single month? I'm Brian Cristiano, CEO of Bold Worldwide and creator of Deal Flow Accelerator, boot camp style training program for business owners, entrepreneurs, and sales leaders to help them close up to 30 to 120% more deals in just 6 weeks. If you want to learn more about this program or watch a webinar on how to implement this strategy yourself, visit bold.ceo/pause. Let's grow.
So you had your shot, you took it, but what happened when Oprah fired out that famous tweet in 2011?
Well, when she fired out the tweet, I thought Twitter had just started,
Yeah.
And I know I had said 2011, but doing my research, it was 2012.
All right.
I was just kind of, so I came in with a t-shirt. I thought of Foot Nanny, the word, the name, all that, owned it, all that. And when I sat down, I gave her a box with the shirt in it. And when I sat down and I was waiting for her to come in, she comes in and go, "Oh!" I'm like, "What?" She said that's it. The Foot Nanny, that's it.
She knew it.
Loved it. And she always said, whatever it is, because I asked her, what do I do with this? I mean, I'm servicing you. Show is ending. People are, like loving what I do. What do I do? She said, you have to think of that. What do people say? So, Adam, I bet if you go back and think about what people said about you, they probably say, oh my God, you got the radio voice. Oh, you should be doing commercials.
They said I have a face for radio. I knew it since I was a little one. Yeah, I mean, you're literally being blessed by the queen herself.
1
there.
second. Yeah, you got 5 seconds. Just tell me what I should do. And I didn't bother her. I usually let the client guide me, but this time I felt like the universe tapping on my neck. Ask her. It's
your chance.
Right. So I asked. I took a deep breath and I asked, and she said, "You have to think of it in there. Nobody can think of it for you. You have to think of it in there." And I remember someone tried to think of a name for me. And I was like, I'm not using that name. And I guess he thought I really was going to use some crazy ass name.
Foot Nanny's perfect. Foot Nanny's.
No, not that name. It was something they were trying to plant in my head. So what I recommend to people out there, when you're trying to think of a name for yourself or your company, don't let people tell you what they think. And for God's sake, don't let them text you. Because a lot of people will text you to set you up. That didn't happen to me back then. But now this text message stuff, baby, back. Don't answer. No.
What happened after that? But let's bring everyone back here. So Oprah essentially tweeted about you.
Yes.
And you're like, holy shit! Like
the feedback. Yeah, I didn't even expect it. I didn't know what was happening right then. It was like the world was spinning. And she said, "Let's do a video." And so what the value of that is, the feedback back then came from emails. Even though it was a tweet,
right? It
went to AOL. And when you shot over to AOL, that crew, that's the AOL crew, they emails. And to this day, I can't figure out how to do that. I can't figure out how to lock it in to go like that.
I don't even know. So your career exploded and you started to appear on air. What was that like for you? Did you always feel you had a natural, stage presence?
Yeah, people said
I see that.
They were always like, "Oh, you should be a comedian." Huh? I don't just think of jokes. I just roll with it.
Just funny. There's a difference between being a stand-up comedian and being funny. There's a huge difference.
Yeah, so
I could cut my toenails, but I'm not a pedicurist. Same thing.
It's funny.
It is funny.
What do you mean? When on Home Shopping Network, when I got on there, I mean it was a task trying to get used to that, but because I kept looking at the camera and I was like, which camera? And once you know which camera, 1, 2, I said, you got to talk louder. If you talk louder, I can hear you. Camera 2, camera 1. So once I got used to that, it was better. It was great. But my first time on there, Gail called in.
Oh, we didn't even talk. So Gail called into Home Shopping Network.
Yeah.
Was that planned or you're like?
No, I did not know Gail was calling me. I asked someone from the magazine if they could call and call in, and he said yes. And then all of a sudden they said, Gail King's on the phone. I'm saying, Gail?
Where's Oprah?
No, that was not.
I'm kidding.
You don't want to throw Oprah out there.
We are jumping a couple of steps ahead here. Your career blows up.
Yeah.
You're in high demand.
Yeah.
How did the idea come? How did the idea come for a product line?
Well, the product line was then. I had cream a little bit when she did the tweet, but the feedback from all of the people emailing, amazing, great. Let me see if I had. For example, I had a lot of diabetics coming at me, and my mom was diabetic, so I learned that how to take
major
care
foot
of
problems. Mm-hmm.
Yes, but they were like, we need this. The word diabetic, that. And now this beginning of towards the middle of last year, I launched my diabetic line. So I have a diabetic cream and salt, and it really makes me feel so humbled. Like yesterday, I packed 4 sets, but people need to understand, I make the salts with my hands. So when my own 2 hands, so when people get the salts, I make big bins of it because my kids taught me how to mix.
You're making your product.
Yes.
So let me get this straight. You still make every batch salt cream. You do it by hand yourself? Is that like just the magic? Yes. The magic. Why can't this be mass produced?
No. I need the salts. When people order salts, they need to be fresh. So cream is fresh, yes. However, my chemist can handle that part. I work with him because he does smaller batches. The most he can do is 10,000 jars at a time, and that takes us a couple of weeks. It's not mass produced at like a lot of things, And I feel like when you go too big, you lose the quality.
That's a good point.
So he taught me how to mix and make it last. So I prefer to make them fresh so that the customer, when they order, they have a longer use out of it. Or when they open it, you have to understand, the feedback from those emails made me know that I needed to put me in their house. So when they open that jar, I wanted to burst with foot in.
You want to feel it and get the whole experience there.
Yeah, because when you have Oprah hollering, oh my God, they want to feel that. They want to holler, oh my God, too. They don't want her to holler, oh my God.
That's an experience.
Yeah, they want that same, they want to feel, they want that. They want that.
Interesting. So going back, what was one of those key early lessons? And listen, you're an entrepreneur, you're a business owner. Yeah. What was one of the hardest things when you were starting out? I mean, you have the experience going back to when you were, a kid, running the candy back and forth to school, taking orders and everything. But what was that experience? Now you're big time. Now you're selling a product out into the universe, your own home shopping club. Yeah. What was one of those key early lessons that you're like, geez, that was a tough one?
Keeping everybody out of my ears, not sharing my thoughts with everyone, because I moved to California, so it's totally different than the Midwest. Not asking someone's opinion, more like focus on my customer. What are they saying to me? Keeping focus with the customer, delivering what they expect you to deliver. If they're not happy about something, I'm involved. I have a call center. Yes, I have. They're in Simi Valley. They answer. That's their business. I have 2 graphic artists. Mm-hmm. All these things. But the people that do things for me are not sitting in front of me. And that's the hard thing about entrepreneurs these days. Some people feel like you need to have, accounting is over there and so and so. This is 2021. We can't even, if you have online business and you moving foot cream and salts like I'm moving it, you can't have no everyday little bookkeeper over there. You need a software. So my business has grown with technology.
I love it.
I use a company called Bench.
What's been the hardest part of growth for you inside? Like, what's been the hardest part of you becoming this? I mean, you're the foot nanny.
Having more product because I'm turning down quite a bit of money. I'm leaving money on the table.
Well, you're ensuring quality. That there's a huge difference there.
totally different.
But
And
that's your legacy, right? That's your legacy.
yes,
That's your brand. That's your product right there.
yes,
If you started mass producing all of a sudden, listen,
horrible. I tried it.
like right,
Horrible.
listen, there's if you were on every shelf in every Target, every CVS, every convenience store,
Yeah.
it wouldn't be the same quality and
No,
feeling. It wouldn't be the same experience.
no, and for example, I tried that. I've tried that before. I did one little test. And what happens, what entrepreneurs need to know out there is that you'll make a deal, you could, with a manufacturer to manufacture some of your products. They'll say, "Oh, Baza, woo, 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 we're gonna do it like this. Oh, okay, this is great." And when they say this, "Oh, you don't want to have to worry about all that. Let us worry about that." See, that's how somebody can actually take your business from you without actually buying your business. They can take the strength from it by saying, "We'll make it, we'll do it," and then they change the formula on their end. They'd have made a deal with you, but then they cut that aroma or they cut that formula,
Yeah, it's
and
not the
there you
same.
go. And then the
It's
customers are like, "This ain't for Nanny."
No, it's not. It's not the same. So, Gloria, talk to us a little bit about the last 18 months during COVID.
Mhm.
Tell us, we talk a lot about silver linings, where good things happen during bad times. What
Yeah.
was like? Tell us something that wasn't so good, how it affected your business, and then tell us how your business has benefited.
What wasn't so good was when COVID first hit. I had a structure where we're all in the same warehouse.
Hmm.
The thing that was good was that in a bad, it was bad for some, but good for me. People around me started losing their businesses, and I was surprised they even had a business with what they were selling. I'm like, I don't know how you make a business on that, but they started losing it. So that gave me an opportunity to get another warehouse next door, and then another one next to my chemist. You know,
Hmm.
and they were giving great deals too, because it was like, I mean, the deals were like you couldn't pass it up. How much? And now that it was great. And so I pivoted where I'm in one warehouse, like the one I'm in now. I have one girl when it's a project going on, she's down at the other warehouse by herself. Then I have another family of three that work together in another because they live together, they work together. So I was able to pivot in a strange way. For somebody's loss was my gain. And then all of a sudden, all these orders start coming on a regular basis, which was hard for me. Even though I'm foot nanny, I needed a regular flow. Boy, do I have a regular
Right.
flow.
Yeah.
Woo! And Amazon, I sell on Amazon. So Amazon was packed with PPE. So we couldn't like
You did
ship
the
all the stuff
distribution.
in.
Mhm.
Right. So then we end up doing the distribution,
You're
seller
packing it up, selling it directly.
fulfill, like for Amazon, they would order, but we would ship it.
You would
So
fulfill it. Mhm.
yes, but by the girls knowing how I think and how I work, I had the same things over there that I have in here. So the creams would come to them next to the chemist. They would label them. And then I would have my maintenance guy comes at night. He moves. So it was a good thing. It was it's still crazy.
I love it.
But I know that people can help themselves through my creams and my essential oils now with all this going on.
Is it for men too? Is it for anybody with feet?
Absolutely.
Is it for anybody with feet?
Yeah. This is the fun part about my brand, which I don't think a lot of people do. I actually market to the customer, the consumer. So when I see a woman buying cream, I'm like, is she buying for her husband, boyfriend? I need to know this. How do I know this? So I market to the customer. So if I sell a diabetic set, I know I'm selling it to a diabetic. If
Right.
I sell the man cream, I'm selling it to a man. And then I start seeing one for him, one for me. I see a rose and a man eucalyptus. And then I'm like, yes. So that's my way of knowing who I'm selling to. Not somebody calling you on the phone or tapping into your information. I know the real people. Grandma. Another one that was great was Auntie Mama's. Okay, so I have man, unscented eucalyptus tea tree. They go, why man? I said, why not man?
Why not?
I
Men
grew
and
up with
feet.
3 brothers and a daddy. Okay, so why not man?
Yeah, everyone loves a good you got to take you went back to what you said earlier, right? Like
Yeah,
everyone has feet. You work hard. We're all on our feet all day long. Doesn't matter, man,
yeah,
woman, whatever you are.
yeah.
Your feet are gonna hurt. Your feet need care. Your feet need treatment. I love it. Gloria, where do you see the brand going in the next 10 years? Where would you love for the brand to go?
I don't know because they say I've survived more than most brands. I mean, I've been at it since 2012. So I see the brand being a stronger connection inside Amazon. I see more of a customer experience online. I got a new website that we actually give you a test, a quiz on what you should get. I see not only my foot spas, which I have now going, getting ready to really pop them off in September.
Love it.
I also see foot nannies in the neighborhoods. So that Mary Kay of foot care, that's me. So I see that, and I have one thing called Foot Nanny Door to Door. So I see that person being that person in the neighborhood, like my mother.
I love it. And that's really keeping the legacy, really keeping the brand, really keeping it true. Let me ask you what, you've been through the ringer as a entrepreneur, as a businesswoman. What advice would you give to anyone out there who's struggling in entrepreneurship?
Well, for one, if you're African American, don't think that you have to keep, let's just put it like this. Keep in mind, no matter if you're African American, Hispanic, Jewish, because the Jewish women got some cold wigs, baby. They got some wigs that I can't tell you the secret, but y'all, okay, that's a whole nother community. So you have to really keep an open mind, be it male, female, whatever nationality. Don't just sell to your nationality. Make something that can go for everybody.
That's right.
And if you can't do it all in one, put different sections for different people. You know what I mean?
I love it. That's really good advice.
So surround yourself with people that know what they're talking about, not somebody that's trying to steal your thoughts.
Let's bring it home here, Gloria. What does the word authentic mean to you?
Oh, real.
Because I get that from you. I get
this is me.
I feel it. I feel it from the second we turn this computer on, the second we hit record. I feel it. But what does it mean? How do you keep that translating through your products and your brands?
Even though people say, you should do this, you should do that, I don't feel it. It's not a part of my life. It's not a part of my story. My products have something to do with my life. Stories on most of them. Go with your gut, go with your gut and test it. Do a little test. Don't jump all the way out there with both feet. Just do a little test. I saw a girl on Shark Tank the other day said she had a store on Etsy and did like $600,000 a year. I'm like, well, I'm going on Etsy and open me a foot nanny store. Okay. So
Etsy's crazy.
It's so simple. You don't have to worry about anything. If you want to get started, get your feet wet. And then you got to have an Amazon store. Okay. So just get your feet wet a little bit. Just try it a little bit,
Get out there.
Don't quit your day job. Don't just jump out there,
What's the best advice you've ever received in your life that you take action on every day? It could be a mantra, it could be something your grandmother, your dad, your mom, someone told you something once and you said, you know what? That resonated with me and I'm going to repeat it every day.
Well, thank God for waking up in the morning. That's one thing. Just being real, I can be very strong with my opinions, so I have to kind of reel it back and think before I speak. That was hard for me.
Me too.
That was really hard. It took me some years for that one. You too?
Yeah. I know it's hard because we want to say, you want to say it, but you gotta know your audience. And last but not least, you go back in your life, you think about those hard times, the struggles, and during those hard times, Gloria, you had to pull yourself up. You had to pull yourself up, and you had to harness that inner tenacity, that fire inside of you to keep you going. And right now, 2021, I see that shelf of product behind you. You're grateful for this business, this life that you built. How do you keep yourself focused? What is your compass? Gloria Williams, what is your North Star in life?
I have to work hard so that people know that I want everyone to know my parents meant a lot to me in the world and my family, but I just want them to know that there's a reason for everything I've been through, and I have to share it with the world. I'm here to serve. And I wouldn't have went through all of that I went through with looking at my mama do my daddy's feed, looking at her mix the concoctions, going through all this business stuff I've been through. I can truly say now I have a lot going on, but I'm very centered and I'm okay with it. And stay in the now. When they say stay in the now, don't worry about tomorrow. Worry about right now. Deal with what you got today.
I love it.
One thing I will say this. I just want to end with this.
Go for it.
When you pray and you ask for something, release, no matter who you are. You have to believe it's going to happen. And then you get ready for it. Actually get ready for it. If you said, you know what, I want to take my family on a family vacation around the world, whatever, on a cruise ship. Just tell your wife, say, honey, where's our luggage at? She gonna say, what are you talking about? Say the luggage, what's the luggage looking like? Actually put it into motion and get ready for it because you're going to bring it to you. I will tell you that. I know that 100%. And I'm finna practice what I preach.
I love it. Gloria Williams, thank you so much for joining me today. I want everyone to check out thefootnanny.com. But where else? Where else could folks find you? Where could they connect with you? Where could they learn more?
Footnanny.com, Footnanny Instagram, Footnanny Twitter, Facebook, definitely Amazon.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Gloria, thank you so much for joining me today. Hang with me for a moment here as I wrap things up. Thank you, everyone. I hope that you enjoyed this episode, listening to it as much as I did recording it. Gloria is awesome.
Yes.
Definitely check her out. You know where to find us all at thepodcast.com, all the social media channels. If you like this episode, please share it. Sharing means caring. Remember, take care of each other, look out for one another, and catch us next week for another great episode of the podcast. Take care, everybody.
Woo-hoo.
Wisdom is forever, but for us, it's time to go. Thank you for joining us. Luckily, we'll be back with our next episode soon, jam-packed with more incredible humans. Thank you for listening, subscribing, and sharing. To join the conversation, search the podcast on LinkedIn. And to catch up on past episodes and more info, please visit www.thepodcast.com.